live.
Oh,
And Dad, this is my
Let's
dad,
see.
David McNeil, Daddy-O from Daddy-O Cast. And this is a Cloudburst where we just talk about things that are interesting to us. And I'm able to I'm able to archive my father's thoughts on video
and get his own out too. You know, he gets his own.
Yeah, I'm able to get my own out as well. And one of the things I was thinking about recently, Dad, was there was a tweet that went viral on X by a friend of ours, a friend of mine and Paul's, friend of the Wagon Box, Justin Murphy, and he was just opening up, being real honest about his spending time with his 4-year-old boy, particularly throwing a baseball, and sort of some trepidation about how much he really didn't want to do that at the time. And he only has about 10 minutes worth of attention span for that sort of thing during the day. And it just got me thinking. I've never been one to really love throwing the ball. He got a lot of pushback about it, and I just wanted to talk to you about it.
First, when you talked about it, I thought, throwing the ball. I thought about your son Asher, my grandson. You know, throwing the ball with him would be kind of fun. For me, if you like baseball, I always liked baseball when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have a very good arm, but I could throw it for a little while.
Yeah.
But when you said 4 years old, I think doing any play with a 4-year-old for a grown man is a little tedious. I hate to say it, but
it's a lot tedious.
It becomes tedious. I remember flying a kite with my other grandson, Eli. And Eli, man, he had and still has tremendous energy, man. And he wanted to fly that kite. He was 4 years old too. And I can remember him running over here. It's like I told him if he could run, he could pull that kite and make it go up. But he was running over here, running over there, and I was watching it go into the trees. And, stop. But his energy was much greater than mine, you know. But matching your energy and time with a little boy is hard. I remember when you were small, I'd like to play with you for a little bit. You used to play outside when you were real little, about 1 and 2. You played in the dirt you had little road building equipment and cars and stuff. Mm-hmm. Well, I could play, with doing that for about a minute. I mean, why? Because a full-grown man has purpose. He's productive. Yeah. It's hard to fiddle around with something that is not the things that you fiddle around with. Now, the thing is, I don't know what things do I play with. A 4-year-old plays with something. Yeah. But you're talking in some sense about play and how do you play?
Yeah.
And playing with other people.
Yeah, I mean, we titled this the pastime. Yeah.
And pastimes, that can be like hobbies too,
But aren't hobbies ultimately play?
Well, that's a good question, because I guess when you say play, what you mean is something you do that has no real product. In other words, you could do it
other than pleasure, right? Other than sort of enjoyment,
fun, pleasure, exactly. Mm-hmm. So you're not feeding anybody. You're not making a home or warmth. You're playing, and I would imagine that most play, especially back in the day, had to do with faking things you're like I was talking about. You played with your cars and your road building equipment. You're faking something real, right? Mm-hmm. And so a lot of play is like that. So girls play house, and they still do downstairs. We have a big doll house. They play with it. Yeah. And boys play war, famously Winston Churchill played games of war with little
with the
lead soldiers.
Oh, as a boy.
Yeah, as a boy. Mm-hmm. And actually was really serious about it. Now, with him, it actually was practice for a future where he was the commander in chief of a huge army. But generally, it has just sort of like play means just sort of, because what else are you going to do as a kid except imitate things that you see?
Yeah, well, I believe that is why it gets so tedious so fast for a grown man with his child. One, because it's play, and after 10 minutes, it just feels sort of pointless. The other thing, though, is that I think for a father in particular, when I'm trying to play with my son, even my daughters, and trying to see myself in them, it's at 4 years old, it's frustrating because they have they're such limited communication and such limited thinking ability and creativity ability.
Yeah, it doesn't satisfy you, and I think that's where love and calling come in. Women and mothers tend to be a lot more loving toward younger kids, and can spend more time doing what I consider silly stuff. I can do it for a little while, but like playing kids card games where, do you have this one? I know. Okay, give me all your sevens. Give me all. I mean, it's so not. It's so little. There's so little challenge there. Mentally, I get tired of it very quickly. But I'm not thinking about them. What are they going through? How can I make life fun for them? And that's love, and that is a calling of a mother, a father also, and uncles too. Uncles tend to be much more giving, like that, giving of time.
Well, but in defense of those fathers who like me, who have difficulty with that time, the second part I was going to say is it also feels, or maybe the third part, it feels useless in the sense that we want to be training our kids up for something. So if we're playing, that's great. That's great. There is a relational component to it. And I want to talk more about that. But before that, when I was looking at the scriptures, a lot of scripture talks about, what is it? Ephesians 5. I wrote it down. 5:16 talks about redeeming the time, for the days are evil. And Deuteronomy talks about 6:7, teaching your children diligently. But all this talks about training them up. I guess in redeeming the time, that could be a relational thing.
Well, there's some fun things. You think back, I've been thinking back through the Bible. Where is there play in the Bible? The only thing that came to mind, well, there is in the early chapters of Proverbs, it talks about wisdom as a personified. It could be the person of Jesus talking, but he said, I played with, before God, I was rejoicing before God. So it's like play, but that is more of a rejoicing. You see lots of dance and playing music and so on, but rejoicing for a reason. But play, I was thinking about King David, and when he was trying to communicate with Jonathan, Prince Jonathan, and he says, I'll go out and, Jonathan, right? Jonathan says, I'll go out and shoot the bow. See, well, he wasn't just shooting just to have fun. He's practicing. Right? Practicing, but it's fun. He's shooting. He goes way out where he can shoot far, and he has a boy to go and pick up the arrows, right? And he says, if I say the arrow is beyond you, that means one thing. If I say it's this way, it means another. And you sit over here in the woods, and you'll hear me, and that's the way I can communicate with you. But he was out doing something that would normally do, so he wouldn't attract anybody's attention. He was trying to be secretive with David. So he was shooting the bow and arrow, which is something they normally did. It may have been fun, but it was also practice, right? For something real. That is to be a warrior. Right?
Yeah. Well, one of the most fun things I remember from a kid when I was 4 was when you'd play the Beatles. You'd play the Beatles records, and we would just listen and dance. And I mean that is the most fun you see in the Bible. But David, he loves dancing and singing, and
but it was for a reason. It was to celebrate.
That's true.
To praise God, to celebrate. Something's good. I remember famous dances when the people of Israel, the Hebrews nation, came across the Red Sea. God divided the water, and they came across the Dead Sea on dry ground. Yeah. And when they came up on the other side, the army of the Egyptians followed them. They were dead set upon capturing them and bringing them back, or killing them, whatever. But they got down in there, and the Red Sea came back on them and drowned them. And on the other side, Miriam, Moses' older sister, and the women all danced, I will sing unto the Lord, for he has triumphed gloriously, the horse and the rider thrown into the sea. And they're playing their tambourines, they're dancing all around, they're celebrating, right? Celebrating. They're not having fun. Right. They're celebrating. Now, there are some in the Old Testament talks about some playing the tabret and the music, and some people that are getting drunk, and there is a partying that's mentioned in the Old Testament, but it's not of God's favorite people. It's the people that God is going to judge, right? That are taking their time to. Well,
even his favorite people, when they're doing it, before Moses comes down and says, "What are you guys doing?" They carousing.
They sat down and they rose up to party. It said they rose up to party. And it tells you they were doing nasty stuff. Yeah. And they were drunk, and they were just, fornicating and everything. So there was that. That was not a pastime. Particularly approved of by the Lord God.
That's right.
In fact, it was a cause that several thousand of them died. The plague went through them. But as far as play, it's like children. We don't see. We just assume there was. And watch kids getting together and doing things together in play. You got to watch them, because they could be like. And I remember being with a group of young boys. You got to watch them. They're going around you're looking for trouble. You're looking to do something that you can do by yourself that dad's not looking or mom's not looking. Set fires, go do this, steal some fruit or something. There was a bunch of them that came out and accosted the prophet Elijah. That's right. And they said, "Hey, get on out of here, Baldy, get on out of here." And he cursed them, and a bear came out and killed a bunch of them, mauled them. Gosh, you don't want to be caught like that.
That's right. But there is, when I was looking into this whole, I was interested in this Ephesians 5:16 to redeem the time. What does it mean to redeem the time? And sort of to back up and look at Ephesians, and particularly Ephesians 5 about love, about instilling love and living a life of love, living a godly life of love. I think that when we redeem the time, there is something about play and connecting with other people. One of the things I thought was interesting when I was looking up what is the real purpose of hobbies? Is there anything good about hobbies? There was I saw a lot of comments and stuff that it was like on Facebook or something about, or no, it was on Reddit about how hobbies help us connect with other people. Common interests, and it made me think of the church I used to be part of, the Christian Missionary Alliance denomination, did a study because they couldn't get people to do house gatherings together. It just wasn't working out until the study showed the only thing that really worked was when people got around and did something together that it was like a hobby. If they did something together based on a hobby, they would spend time together. Yeah. And then afterwards would have like prayer and Bible study. But having a common goal, common purpose, common interests, these are things that hobbies, fun helps us get together.
It's good to have, to see some productivity in a hobby. excuse me. I remember my friend Bob Rose and his wife Susan. They took up at one time black and white photography to have something to do together.
Yeah, that's good.
And it was good for a while. They had to have a dark room, you know. I at the same time I was doing that in the Army, I learned to do some of that. They helped us set up their own. We had a dark room, and developing your own pictures. It was good, but it was productive as far as the art goes. You know, seeing beauty, and the same thing goes with drawing, any kind of art, and that's always been recognized as a fruitful hobby. Art, you know, the things that they expected a young woman to do back in the 1800s, to be able to do what do you call that? To pinpoint where you embroider, right, and to draw and to make music. You know, these are things that produce art, produce loveliness, beauty in the house. And I think we should be looking at whatever we do. I'm kind of back in stamp collecting because I have access now to a collection that was lent to me to see if there was anything we could do with it. And so I remember I used to collect stamps as a kid. And the one thing I loved about stamps, my dad also did. And he gave me his stamp collection. And what you learn through stamps. I learned a lot about the presidents, key people in American history, and of course, foreign countries, how they wrote their language and everything. And I got into linguistics later, but one of the things I could recognize Cyrillic writing and Russian stamps. I knew something about German stamps and so on. So I learned a lot about geography through stamps. Same thing through coin collecting, foreign coins. So there's a product in those things. I think that was good. I don't want to just, without any pain, just freely denigrate what do you call it? Games that are like cyber games. You know,
video games.
Video games. I don't. But what kind of product do they have other than to teach your finger, you know, to go faster?
Well, problem solving.
To think faster online, which apparently is going to be demanded of the next generation, not mine. You know, we're too old for that. You know, we just tell guys like this to do it, and they do it.
You do some,
but you know, I don't want to just say there's nothing involved, nothing productive about it. But you can see sitting around with video games all night, trying to kill the other guy or race a car. You know, that's not as productive as like looking at stamps and seeing what country they're from and who is this and where. I mean, you're learning about geography. I mean, it's obviously a slower thing. Yeah.
It does bring to mind the contrast between biblical times and now, particularly old. When you're talking about David, there was a certain hobby in killing. You know, learning to kill, like training.
Oh yeah, warfare.
Warfare was.
Well,
and there was some fun in it. Well, there was some fun in it.
Let me go out and slay some people today. I just haven't killed anybody in a couple of days.
I mean, David pretty much was like that.
I know he just practiced vengeance on his enemies. Yeah. Now, whether he enjoyed it or not, I'm sure at times he did. Unfortunately. But he did, you know, he was wreaking vengeance according to the will of God, we hope.
But even in the mid ages, I was watching a movie the other day, The Green Knight, with a friend of mine, and it portrayed the Middle Ages. Both of us commented on how it certainly was a different time when status was based on how many people you killed, how much land you conquered, you know, and how well you wielded a sword, how long you survived a disease. You know, it was a much more violent time.
But you can imagine that most of that had to do with defending yourself, knowing that if you didn't have a strong protector, that's why the lords of the time, the kings and the dukes and all, they weren't just appointed because they not only because they came from a certain family,
Mm-hmm.
but because they were warriors.
Mm-hmm.
Richard Lionhearted and all these guys, they were warriors.
Yeah.
And Robert Bruce, they were strong warriors.
Yeah.
And they were able to protect the people that were under them, and they had warriors under them. It was accounted that people expected their kings and their princes to protect them,
Mm-hmm.
because they were people coming from the other side. Now, you could have had, as we have today, people who just say, let's all live in peace. You probably had people back in the day, but they weren't living in peace. There was always someone that was trying to conquer and rule,
Mm-hmm.
and extract resources from your land or from you, or make of you and your kids slaves. You know, it was always it's a terrible thing.
Yeah. Very so much violence.
Well, it was ordained. I had to say, it was ordained for Israel to take over the land of Canaan, because the people there and to slaughter and make slaves of the people there, because the people there were so wicked. And you have to if you don't understand that, it looks like Israel is just another country taking over, another country, just conquering.
Yeah.
But conquering was the rule back in the day. So men were always practicing with the bow, with the sword.
Yeah.
And there was that wasn't a pastime so much as it was just continuous training. And of course, you as you were a little kid, you practiced with wooden swords. That was fun, but you were still looking forward to when that was part of your skills that you were building.
Yeah, that is one thing that when my kids were littler, when they were 4, one thing I would do is challenge them to, when I realized that it's about spending time with them, right? It's about just giving them attention and time. And one of the ways, it was a goal of mine to use up their energy. So I would challenge them to run, challenge them to races. My kids are pretty fast runners for the most part, because we would always race. We would run and make them run around the house, or like, let's time you. You got
to use up that energy.
Yeah,
and they enjoy it if there's some competition or reward or something.
Yeah. Oh yeah, reward is something that I maybe use a little too much. I'll give you,
but I think
money if you do that.
I think if you would think the perfect Christian life would not be full of leisure activities. I think, and I'm telling you, I struggle with this. The perfect Christian life is not full of watching TV, playing video games, doing Sudoku, though something like doing Sudoku every now and then is good, like playing chess to keep the old man's mind, limber and sharp, or as sharp as it can be.
Yeah.
However, we want to be, what does it say? Like in the first Psalm, we go back to the first Psalm, talking about the righteous man. He doesn't walk in the counsel of the ungodly. He doesn't stand around with sinners. He doesn't sit in the seat of the scornful. He's not critical, always critical. But his delight is in the law of the Lord, in the Bible. And in this law doth he meditate day and night. That is, he studies, he reads the Bible, he thinks about it. And I think for a Christian's pastime, if you got nothing else to do, if you're bored, read the Bible. And one of the things I used to do as a kid with you, and I think it was fun for me, and it's fun, is tell Bible stories.
Yeah,
I still do tell Bible stories.
Yeah.
And sometimes you can get the kid to fill in the details, because they are some of the larger parts, because they know what's the story of King David,
Yeah.
David and Goliath. And sometimes you fill in little details they didn't know about.
Well, that is superior. And one of the things that I just remembered that I still do with Evangelin's kids, my nieces and nephews, mostly my nieces, they're so young, is I cannot stand reading books. I just hate these like children's books. Reading them, it's boring to me.
Yeah.
So what I would do is I would make up my own story based on the pictures.
Yeah.
And they love that because every time, you know, it was a new story and they could correct me and say, that's not what it says, you know.
That's good. I didn't know that. That's good.
That's something I like to do because, I mean, the banality of just reading through, you know,
oh, I know.
Llama, red pajama or whatever.
Oh, I know.
For the 100th
your mom
time.
could do that. It's mind numbing for me. I would read to you guys, and we would read. Y'all liked it. It was when you were small, was reading the poetry, kids' poetry, like the Quingle
Quangle Quee.
Quingle Quangle Quee.
Yes.
You know, Quingle Quangle Quee.
Is it the Quingle Quee?
Yeah.
Yes. Well, we're pretty much out of time, but I did want to bring it back to what does it mean for the Christian life, and that I do believe the days are evil, and not in the sense of
no, you're
not
right.
in the sense of scare. I mean, in some ways scary, but
scary.
but in the ways that there's so much, and even more now than in the time of when Paul was writing this. I think so much to distract us from what is really important. And as you say, reading the Bible, I think is good. And talking to our kids, even if they can't understand, talking to each other like we're doing now, discussing issues.
Yeah.
Getting down to the real, I mean, I was thinking even small talk can be something that we're not redeeming the time. We're not taking the time that we've been giving and paying it, you know, using it valuably.
We just want to pass. We don't want to just pass the time.
Right.
We want to go towards something. We want to dig a little deeper.
Mm-hmm.
What does that mean for us? What do you think we could do about this?
Mm-hmm.
How do you think we could handle this better?
Mm-hmm.
And in the story, what do you think this person could have done?
That's good.
You know, digging deeper and not just passing the time. There's so much. Just to pass the time.
Yeah.
I find myself, you know, sitting back and just say, doing a crossword puzzle, and I look at it and say, why am I doing this? I don't have time to do this. I have other things to do.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean you can never do a crossword puzzle. It's good, you know, to keep your, like you said, mind limber. But there are things that we can do to sharpen. Music, learning a musical instrument and practicing it, and singing together. Let's sing a song together. You know, your mother and I, we are going to try to do that in the evening. It's something we just started. Instead of sitting around and watching something on Netflix, we're going to try to go through the hymn book and learn songs together. Maybe pick out something that we could sing as a duet or something. You know?
Yeah.
Something productive, and not just opening your mind to whatever some sinner over in Hollywood wants to stick in it. You know, that's, you got to be watch that. Protect your mind. Produce good things for the world. Produce good things. I've always thought that was our family. One of our family's missions was to produce beauty for the world. Identify beautiful things, produce it for the world, show how God's creativity is in the world. And in terms of beauty, truth, fine things, good people, and good activities, right?
Amen. It's not easy.
As well as God will help us. And that's what we need. We ask God, help me with this time. How do I do it? And how do I help this little kid? How do I calm myself down and think less about what's on my shoulders and spend a little time with him or her? You know? I think that's...
But, you know, one thing, though, I was thinking about is 10 minutes a day, every day.
Oh, yeah.
That's a lot. That's way more than sometimes I spend.
Well, I don't remember long times with my uncle. One of my uncles that was so dear to me. I just remember one little time we were together here and one little time we were together there, you know. One time washing dishes, you know, and watching how he did it and listen to him talk. Just a little brief, you know. It doesn't take much time to really to endear yourself to a kid. And
little spurts is fine. I think. Well,
God help us.
God help us. And And help us out by giving us a comment. Tell us what is your hobby? That's one of the things I was thinking about. I couldn't really identify my hobby. You have very distinct hobbies, like playing the saxophone,
Really
playing
fun.
instruments.
Yeah, stamps, coins,
reading, Sudoku.
Yeah, Sudoku. I just want to say one thing.
Yeah.
Things are getting more complex in this day.
Yeah.
Your grandfather, my dad, said one time one of the most fun things he ever did was to take a hoop, from a barrel, and have a stick and roll it downhill, rolling it like this.
Yeah.
Rolling a hoop. He said it was one of their fun things to do. And so things were simpler in those days, and there's a lot of simple things. It's just also that when kids find a lot of simple things fun, and maybe there's something beautiful in it that God has for you to slow down.
That is one thing that is important to me. I forgot to talk about is that it's important for kids to be bored. It's important for all of us.
Ooh, good point.
Good point.
We try to avoid that. We like the plague.
Yeah.
Oh, we don't want to be bored. Now we got the phone, right? Y'all do. I don't, but you get the phone. As soon as you go, boredom. But, no, boredom is good. That is quiet. Be quiet and know that I am God. Be still and know that I am God. Yeah. We need to look around, be thinking, and let God talk to us. Remembering too that every time we pick up that phone or even looking at us, you're opening up to something else. You want to open up to what God has. So be careful.
And going back to what you're saying about Granddaddy, spending time in nature. I think.
Oh yeah.
Getting outside, walking, fresh air. Yeah. Direct from the tree. Air direct from the tree. Something.
That's right. Your mother likes that. She likes to just walk. Yeah.
Anyhow, we've talked a lot. We want to hear from you guys. Thank you for tuning in. We got Mr. Chris Hodge and Maria Goff. Hey, Maria's watching. I appreciate you
Maria.
Watching,
this is one of her pastimes. Oh, God bless her. She's got a big.
She's got
four little beautiful girls on her hands to take care of.
Yeah, she's learned to do some beautiful. You got for Christmas.
Well, she's paints. Yeah, wonderful stuff, Mers.
Yes,
beautiful.
She has one in the studio too. She has a little painting she did. I don't know if you've seen it.
Yeah.
Anyway, that is what we have for you. What we have for each other. Hope you got something out of it, and we'll see you next week. God bless you.